I want to share with you 20 of the most important lessons I've ever learned, and I think these lessons can save you a lifetime of disappointment, of frustration, of heartbreak, of poverty, and I think can help you make some money, have a wholeness about you, a peace of mind, and help you build a happy, healthy family, a successful business, and a bunch of other things. But just 20 lessons that I think, and not in any particular order. I just want to talk to you. Who am I? For those of you who don't know, I'm Dr. Manny Scott, and I have traveled the world speaking to over 2 million, 2.5 million people in person. I was a high school dropout, overcame so many obstacles to become the first person in my family to graduate from high school, to go to college, UC Berkeley, get a master's degree, earn my PhD in intercultural competence, and become a happily married man, father of 3 amazing teenagers now, a pilot, have my own airplane, started my own business, traveled the world, been to 49 states, 6 continents, and took my wife and kids with me all over the world. We homeschooled them. And so my children in a lot of ways were world schooled. They learned history where it happened. And for 25 years, I've been traveling around the world, teaching and speaking to people, to educators, to students, to administrators, to anyone who would listen about overcoming obstacles, about succeeding in school, about reaching and teaching underperforming students, students who need extra social, emotional, academic help. I did that for years, and I retired from the road last year, and I actually delivered my last keynote in person this August, but I announced my retirement last year. Anyways, 20 lessons that I think can help you save yourself a lot of pain, a lot of problems, and build an amazing life. All right, so I got a list here. Please forgive me. I'm not trying to be polished. I'm just trying to be helpful, but I'm just gonna talk you through them. So number 1, resilience overcomes circumstances. All right, so you heard some of my story, but I was born into poverty, born into a broken home. My father's been in prison almost my entire life. I've seen him maybe 17 hours total, maybe 12 times. And my stepfather was a hardworking man, but he was also addicted to crack, and he was an alcoholic, and he became violent whenever he got drunk or high. And I had to fight him so many times, man, to protect my mother, and it was terrible. I lived in 26 places before I was 16, and life was just really hard, okay? But I had this thing within me, this drive, this determination, this motivation to build the kind of life that was free from all of those problems. And I learned through all of those struggles that your resilience, that fight within you, can help you overcome whatever circumstances you're in right now. And so that's lesson number 1. Your resilience can overcome your circumstances. Number 2, your adversity can be a catalyst. All of the challenges I faced, this flows from that first one. All of the things I was going through motivated me to build a better life for myself. So, for example, I was a little boy, and my stepfather was hitting my mother, and she ran into my bedroom, and she slammed the door, and I was holding the door closed while my stepfather was trying to get in, and I locked the door, but he was stronger than me, and so he went to go get a key or something to pick the lock. Anyway, I removed the doorknobs. I forgot how I did it. I removed the doorknobs, and so he couldn't turn the doorknobs. When he came back, he had a butter knife and a screwdriver, and he was trying to push the door open, and he was like, "Open the door," and I'm like, "Leave my mama alone, leave my mama alone," and I'm holding the door, and like my mom is on the couch next to me crying, and I'm a little boy, man, but I'm holding the door. I'm like 10, 11. I'm like 11 or 12, holding the door closed. And my mom says, Son, don't you ever put your hands on a woman. Men who hit women are weak men. And it's snowing out here, guys. It's beautiful. This is awesome. So that was a catalyst for me. I'm never gonna put my hands on a woman. And I've had so many situations, man. My poverty, growing up broke, not being able to like get the things I wanted, like that motivated me. Living in 26 places before I was 16 and getting tired of moving and moving boxes and carrying stuff and just tired of seeing my mother cry. I remember saying like, man, mama, one of these days I'm gonna buy you a house so you don't have to move anymore, right? All of those tragic events became catalysts for me to build the kind of life that I wanted. And so in the same way, if you're facing some rough situations, let it motivate you. Let it catalyze you. Let it inspire you, push you, compel you, anger you. Put something in you, man, to make some changes in your life, to fix whatever problems you're facing or remove yourself from those problems. Because those problems can either break you or be a catalyst for your transformation and the kind of life that you want. Number 3, this is related to it. You are not your environment, right? I was sitting on a park bench and I had dropped out of school and my best friend had been killed. I was depressed. I was angry. I felt like the last sentence of my life story was being penned, that there was no future for me. And this man came and sat down next to me named Martin, and we had an amazing conversation. But one of the things this man shared with me is that just because you live in the hood don't have to live in you. And that was profoundly true, and it still is to this day. You are not your environment. There are beautiful things about the hood. There are amazing people in the hood. There are amazing people in trailer parks, in favelas, in barrios, in colonias, in wherever there's people struggling. There's some amazing people there. But those circumstances, that environment does not have to become your identity. You are not your environment. You are greater than your environment, greater than your circumstances. And so that's a really important lesson that I want you to learn. You are not your environment. You can transcend it. You can transcend it. I thought I heard someone walking up behind me. Okay, number 4. Vulnerability is strength. All right, so a lot of times we go through life, we go through all these experiences, and you know, one of the greatest traumas is going through trauma and then not being able to talk about it with anybody because most people don't understand that kind of trauma. And so we go through stuff and we build these walls and we put on these masks and we act like everything's okay and we act like we have it all together. And I'm often around people who have all these masks on because they don't know who to trust and everyone's like has an agenda and all of that. And that is true in some sense. But what I've learned is vulnerability is strength. And vulnerability builds deeper connections. And there's some people who are going through stuff that you and your story can help and encourage and inspire and free. And in some ways, I'm a wounded healer. And by talking about some of my pain and my trauma, I have freed others and helped others heal just by my transparency, just by my vulnerability, just by my authenticity. And in the same way, you probably don't look like your story. You don't look like your testimony. You have overcome so much, and yet nobody knows about it because you've been too proud and you've been trying to fit in and you've been trying to impress people. Listen, man, forget trying to impress all these people, but be vulnerable when you feel that your story can help somebody, free somebody, bless somebody, or encourage somebody. Okay, that's number 4. Another one is success is earned through mastery. All right, so success, however you define it, whether it's making money, whether it's getting status. For me, it's freedom. Success is freedom to have the resource to do what you want, when you want, with who you want, however you want. To me, that's success. That's freedom for me. And to achieve that level of success, you have to develop a mastery of something that can be monetized, right? So a lot of times people start stuff and stop it before they become masters at it. Sometimes you've got to go through the hard process, the long, hard process of learning and failing and learning from your mistakes and growing from those mistakes and making corrections so that you can develop the mastery that's necessary for you to succeed. A lot of times people come up to me and they, through the years, tell me they want to become professional speakers, inspirational speakers, educational speakers. They want to be paid to speak. And quite often, I give them a quick assignment to see if they're even willing to do the small stuff. 99.9% of the people never follow through on the basic assignment that I give them. And so I refuse to share with them pearls that I've earned through a lot of pain, blood, sweat, and tears. And I'm not just casting my pearls to people who haven't even put in the work to earn the kind of wisdom that I've developed from going through the process of becoming an international speaker. I've spoken on some of the biggest stages all over the world with some of the most influential leaders, and was in many ways received better than all of them were. The audience was like, "Who is that guy?" Standing ovations, and were blown away by my presentation. Your gift will make room for you and bring you before great people. When you develop mastery, success follows that. Success follows the mastery. The money follows mastery. Money follows ministry, but that's a whole different conversation. So develop a mastery, whatever that is that you want to be, whatever you want to do. It's going to take time and a lot of hard work and learning and growing and delayed gratification, but it can lead to your success that is exponential, and that can bless a lot of people. All right, what's another one? Find and nurture your passion. Your passion. A lot of people chase careers for money, and they succeed in those careers, but they're miserable. They don't enjoy those things. And I want to add some parenthetical comments to this point, but find and develop your passion. Nurture your passion. What are you passionate about? What do you love so much that you'll do for free? Because you have a higher chance of developing mastery over things you're passionate about than stuff you're not passionate about. And that's just a given. My boy, Matt Bennett, traveled with me for many years. And he says, man, you have this magnificent obsession with speaking. He said, I often have seen you in airport lounges and gate areas and on airplanes and walking, and you're talking to yourself. He says, what are you saying? Early on, he would ask me, what do you say? And I'd be going through parts of my presentation that I wanted to make better. Or I'd be thinking through an experience that I had with an audience or an audience member that about a response or something I said or said to them, to the audience, that I was not satisfied with. And so I'm going through sometimes my presentations trying to find a better word, trying to find the most accurate way to express that feeling. And so I'm passionate about communicating clearly and in ways that people can feel and understand and respond to. I'm passionate. And one of the biggest pet peeves I have or frustrations is sitting in places where people are wasting time. Speakers waste time. Speakers are not prepared. Speakers have not put in the work to really honor their audience's attention and intelligence. And so develop your passion, nurture whatever that passion is, develop it. Like I have a passion for photography. So I'm always carrying a camera with me. I love this camera. It's an old film camera, but I have digital cameras, DSLRs, mirrorless. I love taking pictures. I love capturing beautiful moments. I love capturing excellence with my lens. I love capturing athletes at the peak of their action, whether it's a high point, a head top, whether it's a touchdown, whether it's a wince, whether it's I just love capturing stories through my lens. And I'm passionate about that. What are you passionate about? Develop that passion, my friend. Life at its best is when you're living out your passions. And ideally those passions are blessing people, but it has to start in your heart. Find out whatever that is and chase it. Life is short, and you don't want to grow old regretting like all the time you wasted not pursuing the things that made you come alive. Pursue your passions. Here's another one. Prepare to serve, not impress. So a lot of people are, especially with social media, we want to impress people. We want people to like us. We want people to applaud us. We want people to clap for us. We want the standing ovations. We want people to look up to us, to venerate us. We want people to look at us as role models. We want to impress people with the stuff we have, the clothes we wear. I just see a lot of that in this culture. And in some ways, that's in human nature. The Bible says man looks at the outward appearance and God looks at the heart. So it's been here almost forever where people, because they look at the outward appearance, everyone is trying to impress people and they're trying to look the part so that other people would like them or let them into the club. And I didn't go through that for very long. I grew up so poor. I grew up with so little that I didn't have anything I could impress people with. My shoes had holes in them. My pants had holes in them. My shirts were too small. My hair was like unkempt, nappy, had patches in it, man, knotted like BDBs, like all of this. Like I didn't have anything to impress people. And so I got to see human nature up close. I got to see how people treat you when you can't do anything for them or benefit them. When they can't get anything from you. I've seen how people really are when there's nothing of value that you can give them. And they treat you like you're nobody, like you're invisible, like you're worthless. And so I could never impress people. And so I developed this sense of like, I just want food to eat. I want clothes to wear. I want a roof over my head. I want water to drink. And that's it. I want people to love me. But I don't really care who likes me or doesn't like me. I don't really care about impressing people who aren't paying my bills. I don't care, bro. I don't care what you got to say about me, what you think about me. If you're not paying my bills, man, I don't care what you got to say about me. And so I never had this real like desire to impress people. All I wanted to do was serve God. And by serving God, serving the people God was sending me to serve. Serving the people that I believe God was calling me to serve. That's all I wanted to do. How can I add value to someone's life? How can I be a blessing to someone? How can I change the trajectory of someone's life, man? How can I touch this teacher's heart and give this teacher hope? How can I help this young person see the value of school and not give up? Man, how can I just encourage someone's heavy heart? How can I give someone, like, just be a blessing to someone? And that's all I really wanted to do. How can I serve in a way that blesses people, in a way that honors God, in a way that God would be pleased with, regardless of what everybody else had to say. And so, of course, I lost a lot of friends, and I've probably created distance with a lot of people because I don't really care about trying to impress you. I am I'm living out who I believe I am. I see a lot of people trying to flex and go to all these parties and events, and they're dressing up and they're trying to look the part. And I'm like, I am the part. I'm not trying to look like anything. Like a lot of people trying to look like, like they got money and look like they're upper class or whatever. Man, I don't need to look anything. I'm happy. I have an airplane that I fly myself. I've traveled the world. I own my business. I ain't trying to impress nobody. In fact, the more wealthy you look, the more problems you have. And so I'm not trying to impress nobody. Usually the people with the most resources live the most understated lives, like basic middle class lives. You don't care what you think about me. In fact, the less you think about me, the better my life is. Don't think about me, matter of fact. Think I'm a nobody so I could go about my life handling my business, doing what I love doing. And so anyway, I digress. My point is this: prepare to serve, not impress. So that's my point. Prepare yourself to be of value, of service to people that you feel called to help. But don't just be trying to impress everybody. All right, here's another one. Adaptability is non-negotiable. So the world is rapidly changing, and you have to learn how to adapt to the changes. I'm not saying compromise your convictions. You can stay true to your convictions, but you can also adapt your strategy. You can contextualize and adapt based on the way the world is changing. So I spoke for 25 years, and every audience was different. Every environment was different. Every context was different. And so the needs were different. The challenges were different. The demographics of the audience were different. The students they served were different. The students themselves were different, diverse in ethnically, religiously, economically, politically. Man, like you name it, there was so much diversity geographically that every audience required me to adapt myself to help them understand and feel my message while staying true to myself. How can you stay true to yourself while helping the people in the room? Adaptability is a non-negotiable. Some people are so stuck on just being themselves that they create unnecessary distance with people. You can be yourself, but if being yourself is creating so much distance with the people you feel called to serve, then you got to adapt. Same thing with the way technology is evolving with AI and with robotics, and just the way technology is advancing. People are afraid that AI is going to replace human beings, but I like what the CEO said. I think NVIDIA or someone else said, AI is not going to replace people, but people who use AI are going to replace those who do not. I have found that to be true. And so how can you use AI to grow and adapt to this rapidly changing world that we're in? All right, so adaptability is key. It's a non-negotiable. All right, my hand is freezing out here. Another lesson. I want to talk to you about the power of mentorship. So for my PhD, I was studying the processes that some of the most highly regarded cross-cultural leaders went through to develop intercultural competence, the ability to speak and behave in ways that others perceived as effective and appropriate, right? So one of the most important lessons I learned is to become competent in anything, having a mentor was the most influential factor that I found in a person's development. So you can read books, you can go to conferences, you can watch YouTube videos, you can do all kinds of stuff. But my friend, there's nothing like having a mentor to sit with, to talk to ask questions, to share your experiences and your perceptions with, and then get feedback about yourself and about what you're trying to do. A mentor can save you. So a mentor is you getting wisdom without the pain they went through to learn that lesson. That's what a mentor is. You get their wisdom without having to go through their pain. A good mentor can save you a lot of pain, a lot of problems. All right, so find you a good mentor. Another lesson. Marriage is a commitment, not a fairy tale. Listen, I've been married 23 years, going on 24. I married my college sweetheart, woman of my dreams. But marriage has not been a fairy tale. In many ways, like, our marriage has been great. It started off like everything was wonderful, honeymoon stage, We had our first son, our second son came, and then marriage got hard because now we weren't just a happily married couple. We were a mom and a dad trying to figure out how to like raise these little boys. And then our little girl, Princess, came, Berkeley. And sometimes marriage is not fun. Sometimes, like, she's my best friend, woman of my dreams, love of my life, college sweetheart. And there have been times in our marriage, and I'm sure she can attest to this too, where marriage is just not fun. Sometimes you don't like the other person. Sometimes, depending on your background, marriage is harder for you. I didn't see any happy, healthy marriages coming up. And so I didn't know what a husband did. I didn't know what a father did. I had to learn a lot of stuff the hard way, through mentors, through asking questions, through asking my wife about her father. But my wife came from a marriage, from two parents who were married 62 years. So she just has so much wisdom. But me, I struggled, man. Like when marriage got hard, there were times where I'm like, dude, there were some nights I'd be driving in the car, like just like, dude, this is why all the men left in my family. Like, this is hard, bro. I can't do this. This is, man, but I don't want my sons and my daughter to grow up without their father. I don't want to repeat the cycle. Men have been abandoning the mothers and children in our family for almost 200 years. All of the men left. None of the men stayed. None of us knew what a father was like. And so, doggone it, man, but I learned that marriage is not just a one-time commitment that you make at the altar. Marriage is a commitment that you have to make every day to the person you made those vows, that you committed to, that you made those vows to in front of God, your family, and your friends. Like, marriage takes a lot of hard work, and of two people working to become one, two people trying to become equally yoked, to be on the same page, going in the same direction, even with your differences and your uniqueness. So it's getting darker here. I hope you can still see me. Build and invest in a support system. So you can't do it alone. Ideally, you have mentors and friends and a support system that you can go to, that you can hang out with, that you can vent to, that you can pray with, who can pray for you, that you can laugh with, that you can go on vacation with. And it's those people and it's that system that lifts you when your heart is heavy, when you're tired and you want to give up. And I've been blessed to have an amazing support system and have people I can call and talk to. People who are useless to me in the sense that I don't really need anything from them, but I just love being with them. The best friends are those who are useless. Yes, if I needed help financially or otherwise, I could call these people and they could call me. But the fact that we just love each other and like being around each other is what makes the bond so special. And the giving is just a byproduct of the love that we have. Going through life in America sometimes is so isolating and alone, and we live in such an individualistic culture that we do everything alone and we live in silos. But life is not meant to be lived alone. We're supposed to be living in community. Community is so fractured right now, so you have to create your support system. Faith is the foundation upon which I've built the life that I have. So, sitting on a park bench, a man shared the good news of Jesus Christ with me about what God had done through the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus Christ to trample down death, bring evil to its knees, destroy the gates of hell, and to redeem the lost, and to give us a place to belong in His kingdom, and to be transformed by His presence and His Spirit so that He could send us back out into the world to be used and transform the world in all directions. Like faith, my faith in Christ has been fundamental to everything that I do and all of the good things that I do and who I am as a father and as a man. I think faith is the foundation of flourishing. One of my mottos, I didn't plan on talking about this, for the Scott family is, when I started out, before I had kids, it was just my wife and I. The Scott family will be faithful and free, right? Faithful and free. Faithful to God, faithful to one another, faithful to our friends, and free. Free mentally, spiritually, financially, in every sense of the word. Well, faith leads to freedom and flourishing. And there's this Harvard professor who actually talked about it. He said there are four factors that help you achieve a happy life. It's faith, family, friendship, and work that is meaningful. Faith reminds you that you're a small part in a very big world, and there is a supernatural being who is there somehow overseeing and superintending the world in which we live. And prayer is your way of connecting to that power and that presence. And for me, that's Jesus. That's the Trinitarian God, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. But this is not a sermon, so I won't go into that too much more. All right, but faith is a foundation. Another one, pursue purpose over profit. Purpose over profit. Don't just do stuff to make money. There's money. Yes, you got bills to pay. I get it. But pursue purpose over profit. Why am I here? Why was I born? Whose pain is my life a solution for? Who can I help? Who can I make a difference for? Like, in whose life can I add value? Who can I be a blessing to? Why am I here? What problems was I born to solve? What am I uniquely equipped to address? So let me give you a story. This administrator comes up to me, and after one of my presentations, with tears in his eyes, he says, "Manny, Dr. Scott, I'm ashamed because I'm a sellout." The white guy. I said, because usually when you use the word sellout, you're thinking of like a brother who compromised. Anyway, listen, he says, "I feel like I sold out." I said, "Man, how so?" He said, I used to work at a school of impoverished kids. He said, and I'm gonna walk to where there's better light. I used to work at a school with impoverished kids, and like struggling in every way economically, and I loved it. He said, I helped so many of those kids. Those kids changed my life. They helped I found so much fulfillment in that work. He said, but because I did so well, I went from leading one of the most underperforming schools in the state to one of the best performing schools in the state, that I was rewarded with an opportunity to go lead one of the best schools in the state, where the demographics were drastically different. He said wealthy families, mostly white, and very well-resourced people. And he said, I'm there, and these kids don't really need me. He said, they don't really fulfill me. The work they're good kids, but they're gonna succeed with or without me. He said, I gave up a job that fulfilled me for money. I get paid so much more at the new school, but I'm not as fulfilled, and I'm sorry, and I sold out. Well, my friend, that's what I'm talking about. Don't pursue profit over purpose. Pursue purpose over profit, because your life and your fulfillment will matter so much more, and you'll be more grateful, and you'll be able to go through your days with more passion and more satisfaction. And money alone just won't satisfy that. That deep desire in you to make a difference, to make a contribution to society. But my point is this: my purpose motivated me to do that work. I didn't do it for the money, but because my heart was so in it, I was blessed tremendously. And like, there have been countless testimonies of people who said that my work saved their lives, that I prevented them from killing themselves, literally. Students, teachers, people all over the world. And I still get messages in my inbox from people I was able to help, because I chose my purpose over profit. and I monetized my purpose so that I could take care of my family, but I didn't sell out. I stayed true to my purpose, and I refused to compromise that. All right, I'm almost done. Lifelong learning is key. Lifelong learning is key. So if you stop learning today, you'll stop growing tomorrow, and you should stop leading tomorrow. You should stop teaching tomorrow. The world is rapidly changing, and you need to become a student of these changes. Become a student of the people you feel called to serve. Become a student of the changing technology. Become a student of cryptocurrency. Become a student of real estate. Become a student of the stock market. Become a student of politics. Become a student of people. Study, study, study. Just don't stop learning. Never lose that curiosity, that insatiable desire for you to understand something, because that will help you navigate the changes. That will help you adapt. That will help you find your purpose. That will help you live out your purpose more meaningfully in so many ways. All right. Cultural self-awareness transforms perspectives. So my PhD studied intercultural competence and cultural self-awareness and the process that people go through to develop intercultural competence. One of those things involves having cultural self-awareness. Cultural self-awareness is having the ability to understand and describe the objective and subjective cultures that have shaped you, to which you belong, from which you come. So we are all culturally conditioned. We are all linguistically particular. We are not neutral. We are not completely objective. No, we come from a place. We are not the junkyard of history, but the products of it. And we have been shaped with patterns of thinking and feeling and behaving. And those patterns are what are called culture. Culture is not color, culture is not race, culture is not ethnicity. Culture refers to the learned, shared, integrated, dialectic, contested patterns shared by a group of people, We are culturally conditioned, and cultural self-awareness is the ability to understand how we are similar to people and how we are different from people in specific ways when it comes to how we see the world. Okay, so cultural self-awareness is developed through relationships, through interactions with cultural others. And it's through those interactions that we become aware of how similar to or different we are from people. And that interaction and that awareness can be key in learning how to navigate changes and adapt to the environments that you're in, and to contextualize the information you have when you're interacting with someone who doesn't share your perspective. Not everyone will believe in you. Listen, man. Not everyone will believe in you. You have a vision, you have a dream, you have a passion, a sense of calling. You have a business you want to start. Hear me. Your family and your friends, more often than not, especially with regard to business, are not your primary customers. A lot of times you start a business and you want your family and friends to support you, and some of them might support you and make one purchase or whatnot, but more often than not, people don't really believe in your dream, or at least they don't believe in it enough to bless you financially enough to be financially independent, right? You're going to have so many people doubting you with regard to your business, with regard to your dreams, with regard to your life, whatever it is, whether it's sports, whether it's entertainment, whether it's school, whether it's starting your business, whether it's a relationship you're in. And I've learned that you have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in yourself, because it's that belief that is fundamental to your success, right? Now, not to say you shouldn't be corrected, not to say you shouldn't be open to feedback, but a lot of times you have a vision and you're the only one who can see the vision. And so you're the only one who's really inspired by it. And yes, you got to learn how to talk about it. Yes, you got to learn to share it with people. But quite often, most people just don't care. They're so self-centered and consumed in what they got going on, that they don't really care about what you got going on. And if you're not careful, if you base your own satisfaction or success or faith or belief on someone else's belief in you for a long time, eventually you can start doubting yourself. And I've learned that in life, that times get so hard that you do doubt yourself sometimes, and you do question yourself. But not everyone's going to believe in you. And that doesn't mean you should just be mean or hateful, but you should be mindful that you don't want to be around a bunch of people who doubt you. You don't want to be around people who don't support you, who don't believe in you. Surround yourself with people who do believe in you, with other entrepreneurs, with other people who are doing what you're doing, and build a community there. And you encourage each other. But don't expect everyone to believe in you. I do say sometimes you have to believe in someone else's belief in you until your own belief sets in. That's true. But quite often, you got to believe in yourself even when no one else believes in you. Man, when I was going through, when I went from a high school dropout to A's and B's and to college, and had to learn how to really read at the college level and write at a college level, there were so many days when I had no one else encouraging me, believing in me, pushing me. And I had to stand in the mirror and look myself in the mirror and say, if nobody else believes in you, I believe in you. I believe in you. And as corny and as cheesy and nutty as that might sound for someone, that's sometimes all I had. All I had was belief that I was going to figure this out, and that I was going to succeed, and that I was going to make it. Not everyone's going to believe in you. You have to believe in you. All right. 3 more. Failure is a part of growth. Okay, so check it out. If you want to succeed, you gotta be willing to fail. I tell people, I tell my son is an entrepreneur. I tell him, hurry up, expedite your failures. We are all, I think Brian Tracy once said, we are all a certain number of failures away from experiencing tremendous success. So if my number is 1,000 and your number is 3,000 and someone else's number is 7,000, you got to fail 3,000 times before you experience tremendous success. On that 3,001st try, that's when the success comes. Maybe it's 5,000, maybe it's 600, maybe it's 300. I don't know what your number is, but I do know this. We all have to experience a certain number of failures before we experience tremendous success. For me, speaking, I reached out to over 400 speaker bureaus. Almost all of them rejected me, but 2. Of the 2 that got back to me, 400 ignored me, didn't respond. The 2 who got back to me pretty much said, you don't have anything of value that we're interested in. God bless. I had no speaker bureaus interested in marketing me and booking me for any engagements. And so I had to create my own opportunities. Reaching out to those speaker bureaus was in some ways failure. I failed, but I failed forward. I learned from those failures. And I reached out to multiple events and organizations, asking them if they were looking for a speaker, looking for someone to talk to their audiences or to their group. So many people turned me down, but some people gave me the opportunity. And I went and I did my best. And sometimes early on, I would make some mistakes. I failed a few times, but I would always learn from those failures and learn from those mistakes, or use the motivation from the failure to get better, to not let it happen again. That's not just with speaking. That's with entrepreneurship. That's with real estate. That's with investing. That's with developing greatness and mastery at anything. You've got to be willing to fail. Anything worth doing is worth doing poorly the first or second or third or fourth time. You got to do stuff poorly for a while before you become great at it, good at it, and then great at it and preeminent at it. So don't avoid failure. Don't avoid rejection. Don't avoid embarrassment. Don't avoid shame. Don't judge yourself, man. Just go, put yourself out there and just try. And if you fail, At least you'll learn about what not to do, about what doesn't work. And over time, little stuff will start to come to you that works. And you begin to accumulate all of these little lessons, and you put them all together, and it leads to you putting together a puzzle that leads to success. But you got to fail in order to get there. And so many people give up because they're afraid of rejection. They're afraid of what people are going to say about them. Man, like, I'm trying not to cuss on this video, man. I'm trying not to cuss on this video. So I'm going to just say this, because my wife be getting me sometimes. The Holy Spirit's still working on my language. But you just got to be willing to go through the failures in order to experience the success that you want. All right, the second to last one. Time is precious. Time is precious, right? Like, you think you have time. You think you have time. And sometimes you don't have as much time as you think you have. I've had so many people close to me die. People who thought they had time. People who thought that they had time to work for 10, 20 more years, and then they were going to travel. And then they were going to take that trip. And then they were going to start that business. And then they were going to write that book. But they died. They died. And left all of those things undone. Time is precious, my friend. Don't waste it. At 48 years old, I've learned that your health is your wealth, and time is invaluable. Like, that's the one thing you can't get back. You can't get time back. So make sure you're investing your time in things that really matter, in things that fulfill you, and things that have eternal cosmic significance. If you're a person of faith like I am, make sure you're investing your time in your faith, in your family, in your friends, in your work, because eventually stuff happens and you start to decline and you get sick, or death comes. And I heard a woman say that the happiest times of your life will be those times when everyone was alive together. Everyone was alive together, because people start to die and you look back at pictures of your loved ones who are no longer here, and you wish you could get that time back. You wish you could get a few more minutes. You can get one more hug from those people. Time is precious. Don't waste it. And then the last one is, you are responsible. You are responsible for your future. My life didn't change until I came to the conclusion that it's all on me. No one is coming to fix my life. No one is coming to save me from my circumstances. No one is coming to transform my circumstances. No one is coming to write me a big check. No one is coming to make me happy. No one is coming to do my homework for me. No one is coming to start my business for me. No one is coming to market for me. No one is coming to sell for me. No one is coming to deliver speeches for me. No one is coming to give me an airplane. No one is coming to pay for me an all-expense trip for me to travel the world with my family. No one's coming. And when I realized that it's all on me, when I took radical ownership of my life. Yes, I belong to Christ, but I'm talking about what I'm in control of. When I took radical ownership of my life, that's when everything began to change. When I realized that life or death depends on me. Like, I can't, like, the life I want depends on me, and I'm willing to do the work. And I did the work, and I pulled the all-nighters, and I read the books, and I attended the conferences, and I made all the sacrifices. And it led to the life that I now have. My friend, your future depends on you taking responsibility, radical ownership of your life. Sometimes we need help, yes. Sometimes we fall on hard times and we need support, yes. But I'm talking about radical ownership of your circumstances for yourself and for your family. All right? Those are the 20 lessons that have shaped my life and have given me the life that I have now. And I share them with you, someone out there who's looking for wisdom, direction, who maybe didn't have a mentor. Maybe your father wasn't there, your mother wasn't there. You didn't have anyone to really pour into you. Take it from me for what it's worth. Everything I've shared with you, I have absolutely lived and experienced and learned the hard way. And these things have added so much value and peace and joy and freedom and success to my life. And I share them with you so that hopefully you can apply them to your life. Maybe not all of them, but some of them, to make the changes that you need to make. All right? I'm your friend, Dr. Manny Scott. If this video has helped you in any way, please like, please subscribe, please watch more videos, because I'm just sharing my heart. I believe that faith leads to flourishing in every area of your life. And I'm just sharing from my experience and my wisdom and my mistakes and my failures in my life for anybody out there who wants more out of life, and you just need a little help or encouragement to get there. All right, thanks for watching this video. If you're still here, you're the real MVP. All right, God bless you. I'll talk to you soon. And if you have any questions, if you want me to make a follow-up video on any of these lessons, any of these points that I've made, let me know and I'll think about it. But I'm just trying to share from my heart. All right. Again, thanks for watching. I'll talk to you soon. God bless.